Hello, this is the Zone Blitz. Thanks for coming back to the huddle. We have received word from a reliable source close to the situation that the NCAA is confident that the coronavirus pandemic has come to an end due to a successful trial of multiple types of vaccines. The NCAA lost significant amounts of money and media contracts due to the pandemic and subsequent geographic conference realignment. In light of this, the NCAA has decided that it will redraft all 10 conferences, with each conference receiving up to 13 teams, but no less than 12. The NCAA wants to recoup their losses and create new national rivalries for future television and media contracts. The draft will occur on February 17th at the NCAA headquarters in Indianapolis. Each conference will have multiple representatives to conduct the draft. The draft order of the 10 conferences will be based on the 2013 and 2014 results. Analytical methods were also used to project which pick each conference would receive. The NCAA has released the finalized draft order. In this case, the SEC receives the top draft pick, followed by the Big Ten, Mountain West, Big 12, MAC, American, Conference USA, Pac-12, and Sun Belt. The ACC, due to its success in 2013 and 2014 in the BCS rankings, receives the last pick. The draft will be performed snake style, so the ACC will have the last pick in the first round, but the first pick in the second round. The SEC, Big 10, Mountain West, Big 12, and MAC will end up with 13-team alignments, while the American, Conference USA, Pac-12, Sun Belt, and the ACC will end up with 12-team alignments. This is a breaking story, and the Zone Blitz will keep you up to date as new details emerge.
Welcome back, Lumberjacks. Welcome back to the Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks Dynasty. And as you guys saw in the opener, shout out to Zone Blitz for doing the voiceover for the announcement. The NCAA announces that it's going to redraft all the conferences. And I wanted to jump in to the methodology before we jump into the offseason. So what I did, just so if you guys want to create this on your dynasty, it's pretty simple. So I used Excel. And I used those championship contender screens that will pop up throughout this as I describe this methodology to creating 10 national conferences of at least 12 teams each. Some had 13. Anyways, the draft order was based on the conference prestige screen, which will pop up right here. And so what I did is I took the championship contender screen and took all 4 numbers, because if you look at these numbers, Miami is a good example right here. They are ranked 60th in the country in 2014, but look at how much they're expected to jump up next season. And I believe championship contenders is based on not only success on the field, but also recruiting. So Miami is obviously going to jump up 56 spots. Then they're going to go to 11 and 18. That's their projections over the next 4 years. So what I did is I took an average of each ranking, and it created an average score for each program. We had a snake-like draft order. We had the SEC, Big 10, Mountain West, Big 12, MAC, American, CUSA, Pac-12, Sun Belt, and ACC. And then the very last team in all of Division I, which I believe was UMass, they don't belong to a conference. They are on their own. I will show you the results of this later, as this isn't as visually interesting showing you in Excel. But I will show you the Mountain West Conference, which is where Stephen F. Austin was drafted to. So we're going to have Alabama, North Carolina, Auburn, USF, Stephen F. Austin, Sam Houston State, Southern Miss on the East Division. And then on the West Division, we're going to have Wisconsin, Illinois, Oregon State, Tulsa, Western Michigan, and Central Michigan. So this is a much more difficult conference in comparison to what we were dealing with last season. And just so you guys can see, you know, we finished this season ranked 20th in the country, but if you base it off of recruiting, we're actually expected to fall significantly from 24 to 98 to 107 to 94. That's based on recruiting. So actually our average score put us at 80.75, and that put us right where we should be. You know, we are not really a top 25 team. In my opinion, we are more of a 7, maybe barely bowl eligible, but because we are in such a weak conference, we had to, well, we were able to win 12 games. So yeah, that's the methodology behind this, and we're just gonna jump right into the off season now. Shout out to Zone Blitz. Thank you so much for doing the voiceover. And if you guys want to check him out, he does unique stuff on his channel. Definitely check him out. I'll link him in the description below so you can go check out his content. We, as you guys can see, we are ranked 20th in the country. It's funny that Michigan State's ranked above us since we just beat them, but let's jump into this. And let's see if we're gonna get a coaching contract extension offer. We should, and we have been offered a contract extension. Obviously, we are going to take that. We don't have any transfers out, which is good news. I've already covered who our seniors are. You know, we're losing some impact players. We'll sort this by overall. So we're losing Aubrey, Caleb, Maddox, Hall, Hippolyte, Attaway, Foster, Chambers, Lawson, Barlow, Perry, Lott, Agri, Brooks, Finley, West. Those are a lot of our core players, and we're gonna miss a lot of these guys, especially our safeties, especially Maddox. You know, we're gonna miss those guys significantly. So we're done recruiting, but I did want to bring something up to you guys that I have noticed in off-season recruiting, and this isn't really related to Stephen F. Austin. But when I do my off-season recruiting, I always make sure to only put my points on guys that are in this tab, in this ready to visit tab or ready for visit tab. Those are the guys that you should focus your points on. If you have a 5-star athlete that isn't on this list, he's most likely going to be one of those players that just doesn't commit anywhere, or he's going to commit elsewhere. He's ultimately not interested in going to your team. So just make sure that you guys keep an eye out on this ready for visit tab. So we're going to move to the next week, and apparently we just signed a 3-star prospect, which is okay because actually we are a 3-star. So the computer signed a 3-star prospect for us. So Stephen F. Austin's class ranks 115th in the country. We were dead last season, so this is actually a huge improvement over last season, but still, you know, it's not going to help us on those championship contender rankings. The computer added our first 3-star ever, and we're going to go ahead and look at him. He's actually a receiver, and we can definitely use a receiver. So for all the names that you're looking at here, I will have a screen that pops up for a few seconds that's going to tell you the new names of all these players, all 22, and I'll let you guys pause it and read it if you're interested in reading that. And now we're going to move to one of my favorite points in the offseason, which is position changes. All right, so I have finished my position changes review of the team. So we have Colt Plaster starting for us. I don't think there's any chance that Dingle or Brown will be taking his spot there. It'll be interesting to see if we can bring in a 3-star that can be better than either of these two. Otherwise, I think the starter is going to end up being Brown in the long run just because he has a better arm. And then at halfback, we have our boy Gus, and we're going to have this transfer in from Louisiana Lafayette, but he came from the Cajuns, the Raging Cajuns, and he's actually a decent player. He transferred for playing time. Most likely, we're going to be running a 2-headed monster. We're going to be rotating Gus and McDougal. Keep them both fresh, make sure we don't have any injuries. And we're going to be redshirting Ford, so we have him for the next year with McDougal. And we'll be running a 2-headed monster. The new running back, Clarence Richard, might be catching a red shirt. He can return, so we could potentially have him at return. He doesn't have the best Excel, but his return rating was very good. From a return standpoint, Clarence Richard could earn some playing time at return man. So most likely I am redshirting him, but I could see him playing this season too, just because of the simple fact that he can return the ball and he has good speed. His Excel is kind of trash, but he does have good speed. At fullback, we have the new freshman, Lee Cobb. He's from Lafayette, Louisiana. You know, this dude could be a damn good fullback for us, and he'll be playing double duty like I mentioned throughout the season. He'll be playing both fullback and he'll be playing tight end. And at wide receiver, you know, it's weak for sure. The 3-star that the computer added on its own, Tony Matthews. This dude is absolute garbage. 75 speed, 79 Excel. I don't see this guy making the team past once we can start adding some more talent to the receiver position through recruiting. This dude isn't going to make it very long, but you know, 72 catch, 60 spectacular, 60 catch in traffic. He's not even a great route runner. This dude's absolute garbage. The top 4 guys are going to end up playing, so it's most likely going to be Thomas, Brown, Bearden, and Mosley. And hopefully Mosley and Bearden increase significantly. They need the help. At tight end, we moved a receiver, Holly Goncalves, to tight end. And hopefully he'll bump up to at least a 50, just so we have an extra body there. The dude isn't going to play much at receiver anyways. And then we have our boy Boyd. He can't catch necessarily, but he does excel as a blocker. So we'll definitely be utilizing him in that regard. A new offensive lineman, a freshman, Wayne McCray. I like his potential, and he's going to be starting from day one. If you guys play this game enough, you know that if you have freshmen along the offensive line, you're going to get abused. He's going to have his bumps in the road for sure, but his 92 excel and 68 speed, 78 strength, teamed with his blocking statistics, which are not bad. 76 in each, and then 72 impact block. I think this dude, when he is a senior, the dude's gonna be a beast. It's just gonna take some time to get there. And then this guy transferred in last season. He had to sit out the year. He's gonna be starting at left guard. He's gonna be a good guard for us. Center is a senior, 86 strength. You know, the strength of our offensive line at this point is definitely up the middle, which, you know, that's a good thing for our running game for sure. This guy, we're gonna ask him to put on a ton of weight, but he could potentially be starting for us. He's a JUCO athlete, and he could be starting at right guard depending on how Newbie and Dane improve during the offseason. Fernandez could either start, or he's going to be catching a red shirt. He needs to add some weight. And then at right tackle, we have Andrew Ratliff, a senior. We're going to be losing him next year. We'll have Watts waiting in the wings. Watts, I like his excel, I like his strength, and I like his speed. And he'll be catching a red shirt most likely. At left end, we have moved a lot of linebackers to defensive end, and no surprise, they're actually better at defensive end than they would have been at linebacker. So Darren Robinson, senior, is going to be starting, but we're going to have Ryan Reed and Brian Bradford playing behind him. I really like Ryan Reed's statistics. Most likely Bradford will be catching a red shirt so he can develop a little bit, as Ryan Reed will be the rotational piece. 92 excel, 79 speed, 74 strength. He's actually stronger than Darren Robinson is. He'll be backing up Darren. And at right end, we are loaded at right end right now. We have Isidore and we have Skylar. Well, depending on who wins the competition between Skylar and Isidore, I might redshirt Skylar if he does not win this competition. And then behind Skylar, we have a couple pieces, rotational pieces. Jason Thurman, who converted from middle linebacker. He's going to be playing defensive end in our system. He's going to be catching a red shirt, and as is Cedric Wheeler. And then at defensive tackle, we have Trevor Murphy, and then we have, who was a former middle linebacker. He's actually a decent defensive tackle, Rodney Young, number 50. He's going to be taking Maddox's spot. Hopefully he can get the same type of, make the same type of impact plays that Maddox was making last season. We'll be obviously asking him to gain some weight, eat some more Whataburger. Lamar Thomas will definitely be asking him to redshirt, take some time to develop. I do like Abel Gonzalez as a rotational defensive tackle. Left outside linebacker, we don't have a right outside linebacker on the roster, which is why left outside linebacker has so many players, because we only play 2 linebackers at a time. But anyways, we're going to have the transfer from last season, Joshua Luke. He's going to be our starter at left outside linebacker unless Gray can outperform him. I don't see it. So most likely I'll be redshirting Gray. And then at middle linebacker, we have Amaretto. Obviously, he's going to be our starter, but we're going to redshirt Nolan Matthews. And Nolan Matthews is going to take the position once Amaretto graduates. So we already have a building block there once Amaretto leaves. So I'm excited about our middle linebacker position. And at cornerback, we're really weak. We need to move someone to this position. I'll do that right now. But we're going to have Valier and Gibbs. And then we have a new guy, Matt Charles, who has decent attributes to play cornerback in my system. He'll either be playing dime or nickel, most likely dime, because Luca Samuels, our boy, is going to be playing nickel. So at free safety, we have Bobby Williams, a JUCO sophomore. Most likely he's taking the starting spot. He's going to come right in and start, and he has good speed. Obviously his awareness is trash, but he looks like a decent fit for free safety. And at strong safety, we're going to have our boy Chris Bailey, Mr. Get Beat all the time. He's going to be starting for us. Yay! But he actually does have decent attributes and potentially could be an 80 overall player. Eric Watson is going to be the backup, most likely catching a red shirt because Mega Mac is going to be playing that second strong safety position. So most likely Watson is going to get that red shirt. And yeah, we just don't have, maybe Mega Mac can play DB or cornerback. Yeah, I think I'm going to move Mega Mac to cornerback. So Eric Watson actually just got a starting position. Congratulations, dude. At quarterback, Plaster improves significantly. And he is now an 84 overall quarterback, 84 speed, 87 excel, 91 awareness. So that's great. Still limited in terms of his throw power, but his accuracy is over 80. Quarterback is going to be weak until we can bring in an elite prospect. So Gus goes up 7 points. He is now a 90 speed, 91 excel running back with 90 agility. Wow. This dude is going to be a beast. And then McDougal goes up 7 as well. We're going to have a good 1-2 punch of running backs. Ford is going to take a red shirt so we can have him for the next year to continually have a 1-2 punch at running back. His spin move is a 90, no surprise. His spin moves have destroyed a lot of ankles, as did Ford's. Ford did have an impressive spin move. And McDougal actually provides a better receiver, so provides more as a receiver, I should say. So he could see a lot of time at receiver. Wide receiver, Mosley does not improve at the rate I wish he would have, but he's still a 79, 88 speed, 88 excel. Let's see if his catching got better. It only went up 4, so it's still gonna be bad. At least we still have Bearden. He has an 82 catch. Mosley's actually better at spectacular catch than actually catching the ball. His catch in traffic's decent, so that's the key, I guess, is to make sure that he's always in traffic when he's catching that ball. He's still the best route runner on the team. Tight end, our boy Boyd goes up 6. Polygon Calves is still at a 49. I was expecting him to go up a little bit more than that, but he's just expected to be an extra body at tight end. And then at left guard, Brian Wright goes up 4. He's 75 overall. Our boy Koshal goes up 7. And we have Newbie. He does not win the starting position, though. We're going to have to make a decision on who we start, Fernandez or Newbie. But Newbie does win the starting spot over Dane. I could be redshirting Fernandez so he can gain some weight. And then at right tackle, we have Ratliff go up 2 points only. That dude reached his ceiling. Darren Robinson goes up 5, so he's one of the best players on the team. No surprise. 81 speed, 86 excel, 80 agility. He's decent at power moves. He's decent at finesse, and his block shedding is fantastic. He's an 86 block shed, so he should have a good senior campaign. We actually have a tie between Isidore and Skylar. So I most likely will be redshirting Skylar so I can have more speed at right end because Isidore just won that position. And then I have some depth behind Isidore as well. And then at defensive tackle, Murphy goes up 5. He is going to be a good player. Should see some improvement there. And then we have Rodney Young. He goes up 6 points. He's going to be a 77 overall. I think that wins him the defensive tackle position there. So at left outside linebacker, Luke barely sneaks by Gray and wins the starting spot. So Gray most likely will be catching a red shirt for next season. We'll see how it goes. Maybe keep him in. You know what? We do have a rotation of left outside linebackers. I think I want to keep him on the field because I don't see enough depth here to redshirt Gray. So I probably won't redshirt him. When we are in our 3-4 alignment, obviously both of these guys will be playing. And then at middle linebacker, our boy Amaretto is going to be a 72 overall middle linebacker. His speed and excel both go up. He gets a +5 to awareness. So, you know, it's a decent improvement for Ashanti. And then at cornerback, we have 280 overall cornerbacks, which is really good news for us. That's great. And then we have our boy Luca jump up 5. He's going to be a 71 overall. And then Megamac gains 5 as well. He's going to be a decent dime. His awareness is kind of trash, but that's fine. And we're going to have 3 hard hitters at cornerback. At free safety, Abramson is the highest rated safety that we have, free safety. So Abramson is most likely going to see a lot of playing time. Strong safety, we have Chris Bailey. The team improved pretty well, improved pretty significantly. And let's jump right into the cut players. All right, so I am going to do the custom conferences off camera. That's gonna take me forever.
Any Many minutes later.
So I finally finished the new conference alignments, and I'll run through this as quickly as possible. ACC, we have Fresno State, San Jose State, New Mexico, Kansas, Washington, and Texas State. And then on the other side, we have South Carolina, Northwestern, Tennessee, Maryland, Florida, and Florida Atlantic. In the American Conference, we have Buffalo, Cincinnati, Duke, Kentucky, Michigan, Miami, and then UCLA, UTEP, Ole Miss, Oklahoma State, Baylor, and Louisiana Tech. Big 12, Arkansas, Bowling Green, Georgia, Old Dominion, Temple, Vanderbilt. This division has 7 teams, so it has Washington State, Utah, UL Monroe, New Mexico State, Notre Dame, Missouri, and Colorado. Big 10, Eastern Michigan, Mid-Tennessee State, Minnesota, Nebraska, Ohio State, Purdue, Rutgers, UNLV, Wyoming, Nevada, Mississippi State, Arizona, and Florida State. CUSA has Ball State, Connecticut, Marshall, FIU, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, and then Arizona State, Kansas State, Memphis, Oregon, Pittsburgh, and Western Kentucky. Independence is UMass. MAC has Arkansas State, Georgia Tech, Northern Illinois, Penn State, Syracuse, UAB, and then they have Texas, Utah State, TCU, SMU, Boise State, and Idaho. In the Mountain West Conference, and as you see, we are in the Mountain West Conference. We have Alabama, Auburn, North Carolina, Sam Houston State, Southern Miss, and USF in our division. And then on the other side, you have Wisconsin, Western Michigan, Oregon State, Tulsa, Illinois, and Central Michigan. So obviously the stronger side is definitely this left side, but I did that on purpose. The Pac-12, we have Clemson, ECU, Iowa State, North Carolina State, Oklahoma, and UCF. We're going to have some interesting matchups in this particular division right here. And then on the south side, we have California, Hawaii, North Texas, Stanford, UL Lafayette, and UTSA. In the SEC, we have Akron, Indiana, Miami, Michigan State, Ohio, Virginia, and West Virginia. And then we also have Colorado State, Houston, Northwestern State, Texas Tech, USC, and Tulane. Sun Belt, and this is actually a really interesting conference. Boston College, Kent State, Louisville, South Alabama, Troy, and Toledo. And then on the other side is the loaded side for sure. San Diego State, Texas A&M, Rice, LSU, BYU, and Iowa. And that's the finalized conferences. We're going to go ahead and redshirt Brown. You know what? And we're going to redshirt Dingle too. We're going to let those two compete and see who can end up being the better player in the long run. We're going to redshirt Ford, and we definitely want the top 5 guys. I don't want this slow Tony Matthews playing. So we're just going to redshirt him. We're going to redshirt Justin Clement. We're going to redshirt Caleb Johnson. We're going to redshirt Steve Lane. Fernandez has better awareness than Newbie anyways. So I think I'm going to let Newbie play this season and redshirt Fernandez. Right tackle, we're going to redshirt these two. At left end, we're going to redshirt both these guys. We're going to have Skylar play both positions. We're going to have him rotate in at left end and right end. We'll keep those guys redshirted. Jason Thurman and Wheeler are catching red shirts. I feel like we have a good rotation at defensive end, and then we're going to redshirt Lamar Thomas, and I am going to redshirt Nick Bryant, and then I'm going to redshirt, well, you know what? I think I might just let Nolan Matthews play this season. I'm going to let him play because we're going to be in a 3-4 alignment at times, and we're going to have Luke and Gray playing the outside linebacker positions, and I'll have Amaretto and Matthews play middle linebacker for us. And I'm not going to redshirt any defensive backs because, well, technically we need them. So not redshirt Eric Watson. Most likely he'll end up playing somewhere. So Clarence Richard is catching a red shirt because he doesn't look like he'll be able to start right away at returner anyways. So we're just going to redshirt him. Hope his Excel goes up. The goal is to create the most difficult schedule in Stephen F. Austin history. Since we are a 3 prestige team, the goal is to play at least 3 ranked opponents every season, and my goal was to create the most difficult schedule I possibly could, teamed with our intense conference schedule, because our conference schedule is going to be a little bit more difficult than usual. Doesn't look like we're playing Alabama this season, which is kind of weird because I should be playing Alabama. No Alabama, so I bumped up the rest of my out of conference schedule. So we'll actually be opening up against number 3 Notre Dame. We'll be traveling to South Bend to play Notre Dame. And then we'll be following that up with a game against the Texas Longhorns. We'll be opening up Mountain West Conference play with USF. And then we'll have Northwestern State, the battle for the Caddo. Then we'll be playing Auburn, Oregon State, Western Michigan at home. And then we'll be traveling to Southern Miss and playing a neutral site game against Sam Houston State again. And then we'll be playing North Carolina, number 17 North Carolina. And then we have Illinois, to finish off our conference schedule. And then in the very, very final week of the season, we'll be rematching Texas A&M. They beat us twice in a row. I want to keep playing these guys until we can beat them. And yeah, we have signed 1-1 contracts with Notre Dame and Texas, and that'll definitely bump up the difficulty level of this particular series, this particular season. My goal is not to win 12 games. I'm going to try, but I want to make it as difficult as possible. So we can recruit 3 stars. We cannot recruit 4 stars yet. So let's check out who's interested first and foremost. We cannot recruit 4 stars. So I'll show you guys the recruiting on the next episode after this. The system froze on me. So I'll see y'all on the next one. Thanks for watching. Later, Essentials.